Hello. Thanks for dropping in. I have been to the basement. Just tweaking this light ever so slightly. Anyway, I've been to the basement and I did find some things. I did. For example, and sadly some of these smell like basement. Anyway, here is a manual for the consultant. From batteries included. This is Herbie on the front. And they've got a thing in the back about all the things that they make. And they made lots of good things, they did. The Consultant. Copyright 1984. And of course, remember, Batteries Included started selling calculators. And the reason they called themselves Batteries Included is because they sold calculators with batteries included. Sometimes, it's funny, people would, they'd get something like this or whatever, and they'd wonder where the batteries were. Well, you didn't need batteries for this. Anyway, also, we have that light is pestering. I will try this over here. The manual for the 1571 disk drive. Oh, sorry, the user's guide. Looks pretty good. Has a bit of that basement smell. Oh, look. Here's another one. Aha, now here are the Commodore 128 system disks, they say. If I could get into it. Indeedy, 1571 test demo disc. Ta-da! C128 DOS shell. What is here? Oh, look, it's the Commodore. Oh, digital research, end user programming, license agreement. Beautiful. Commodore business. Oh, CPM registration. I don't know anybody who actually used the CPM. I wonder if I got everything out of here. I guess I did. Oh, look. The Sacred Commodore disc label. Oh, what's this? Commodore 120 tutorial disc. On the back. Even Commodore started to put things on the back. I will have to set these aside to test them. So I won't put them in the box that Holly will never find again. Oh, look. Here's the Commodore C128D Introductory Guide. Whatever that means, I suppose it helps you connect things. See what's what here is the user manual for the Plus 4. You know, I still say, and I will always say, the Plus 4 would have been a raving success had they put paperclip in it. Didn't matter about the other things. It did not. I did see once on the news, long ago during the Falklands War, that the British were using a Plus 4 to keep track of prisoners of war. Paperclip changes and corrections. Interesting. Nothing terribly exciting. What is this? Paperclip tutorial for the C128. Oh my. This is a big sucker. The Commodore C128 system guide. It is a big beast of a book. It is. I think I'll set that here. I hope to get a pile of things going here. All right, what do we have here? Better working. Oh. Better working. The disc is a little dirty, but it says Word Pro with turbo load and save. I wonder if that means Word Pro, which was done by Steve Hunter. I don't know. Here, I'll put that here. It's a disc. Here is it's kind of ugly. It's a graphics library disc for, I can barely read it. Print shop. Yes, print shop. Oh, look. Yeah. I hate when that happens. Better working Word Pro with turbo load and save. Better working turbo load and save. Attention. Do not install or remove the cartridge while the computer is on. So it's funny. I think I have the manual. I don't know if I have the cartridge. I'm going to just look. Oh, my word. The print is so small. The print is so small. Yeah, I think this is Steve Hunter's Word Pro. Maybe he sold it to them. I don't see his name in here. But it does say, in its tiny, tiny print, that experience gain around 2 million end users. Anyway, don't see his name. What did I drop? Oh no, I dropped two things. Oh god. I'm on such a low chair. It makes it very hard to get things. Revised loading procedure for Word Pro. And the Spinnaker, I guess, registration card. Alright, here is the Commodore. Oh, two of them. Commodore 2010. Ooh. 3.5 floppy disk drive installation guide. That would be for putting another one into an Amiga 2000, I would think. Connecting the Amiga expansion memory card. Oh, wow! This is an old thing. This is for the Amiga 1000, and it's funny how the machine was 256K, but you really needed the 512. And I don't know why they didn't just stick it on the board. I guess just so they could make more money. There are the instructions to connect, which was basically pretty basic. You had to pull off the front cover, push it in, screw it in, done. What is this? Oh, look, it's a book for the Vic modem. All kinds of stuff here. And here is connecting the Amiga external 3.5-inch hard drive. Another stunning volume, which basically was very similar in that find the right port, plug it in, screw it in if you want, you're good to go. Here's the manual for the 1670 Modem 1200. A beautiful thing it was. It used all the same commands as the Hayes Smart Modem, which was beautiful. It's funny, there was another modem out. Oh, I'm trying to think of what it was called, and it was, it doesn't work with things. No, it's not. It's a fine modem if you have the right program. Like anything, if you have the right program, it's good. The modem works well, works fine. It just was different. And it did not use the same commands as the Hayes Smart Modem, which meant a lot of programs didn't work with it. Look, here's a manual for Paperclip 2 for the Commodore 128. Beautiful. Now here, this is something. I think it might have been in a binder at some point. Oh, SimCity Zone Evolution. Interesting. User reference. Okay, this must have been And something here is the Z-Tech Lieutenant Colonel Operating Manual, 20 or 40 megabyte system. Now, it is not in a binder. It does have some things that might seem that they want to fold out. Oh my. There's things about cutting pins and soldering and such. I'm not sure what that's for. Anyway, interesting. Has that, unfortunately, basement smell. Look, here's a manual for quarterback for the Amiga. The fastest hard drive backup utility. And backing up is important. I've heard of people who, they work for companies and basically they're supposed to keep backups. That's their main function. And companies get kind of pissed off when the main thing you're supposed to do, you don't do. Other things are nice. But when you gotta have backups, you gotta have backups. This is the operator's manual for the Super Drive, which was, they made hard drives that went with the Amiga. And they were pretty good. What do we have here? Oh, another installation guide for the 2010 internal drive. Aha! Here is a manual for the Commodore Plus 4. The integrated software manual, which means the crappy programs they put in the machine. It baffles me why they didn't just say, let's put paperclip in. It'll do well. Here is a manual for the consult, which I think we've seen. This one looks a little more used and bent. And it has a very different binding, the spiral binding on the back. And program written by Dieter Demmer. Alright, we're getting there. Commodore 128 Personal Computer System Guide. You may have seen this before. That's because there's another one. Now, I'm going to save these two things for the end. What's this? Warning, warning, warning. The board contains static sensitive components. Michigan software. What is this? It looks like it is a RAM expander thing. Michigan software. Michigan software. It's funny because for Michigan software, it sounds like it's hardware. I'm just trying to figure out what this is for. And I still don't know. Metal can. Single board. Oh, okay. Okay, this is to do with the Amiga 1000, I believe. And these are extensive instructions. Disassembly of the Amiga. Yes, for the Amiga 1000. I guess it was. Well, I don't know what it was. It's funny. All 32 chips must be installed for this board to work. When installing the chips, the notch or dimple in the chip should be towards the top of the insider. Be careful when plugging the chips in. Watch for bent or broken pins. Recommended chips. This list of chips that we have installed and used on the insider is by no means a listing of the only chips that will work. Any 256K 150 nanosecond DRAM will work. I don't know what this was for. Maybe it was for a different kind of RAM expander inside, or maybe it was outside. I don't know. I guess I would have to read more to see. Anyway, enough of that. Look, here is a manual for the Amiga model 1080, which was the first Amiga model monitor, and it actually said on it, Amiga. I had one of these, and it was in beautiful shape. I ended up very quickly, unexpectedly, selling it to a legend in the Commodore world, because he needed it for a picture, something to do with Andy Warhol, and it was going to be in a big, maybe the New York Times or something. Anyway, it had to be that monitor. So we rushed and we hurried and we got it sent quick, and it was lovely. And do I miss the monitor? Yes, of course I do. But so be it. Oh, now look at this. It's a book about those amazing Jays. And there's Tony Fernandez on the front. And sadly, he has since died not that long ago. The story of those Toronto Blue Jays. Those amazing Jays. Now, what is this? Chronicling the 1984 adventures of the most exciting young team in baseball. Yes, this was when they were up and coming, but they hadn't got there yet. But they had some interesting things. Ooh, this photo sequence shows Willie Upshaw hit by a Yankee pitch, charging the mound and assaulting the hapless pitcher. Upshaw was suspended 3 games for the infraction. Indeed, I seem to remember this. Anyway, this I will set aside. I hear beeping. Oh, here is from April 1 of 1985, the Commodore 64 library from TPUG. On newsprint, and it had all kinds of beautiful things. Now, I'm not sure. Is my name on this anywhere? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think so. But certainly, I know I put together a lot of discs. I did. Remember once, and this is how small-minded some people can be. Small-minded and stupid. The World of Commodore was coming up, and I had put together, I would bet, between 30 and 40 new discs that could be available at the World of Commodore with no shipping, no whatever, if you're there. Just, whatever the fee was. And then the president of the club at the time apparently said to the fellow in charge of the magazine, he was really sad that I hadn't done a show disc. And I think the fellow said, I think there's a difference of opinion on that. And in fact, no, there was no show disc, but there was, I think it was 40 new, never distributed discs available at the World of Commodore. 40. I could have done one show disc. Funny how some people like, oh, look, Lisa LaFlamme has gray hair. Let's get rid of her. Single mind. This is the kind of thing, as a great man I know, Bill Bullock, who flew for Air Canada, said, planes crash when you fly on one instrument. So if you're looking at the speed and everything else is fine, everything else is looking fine, and you just keep concentrating on the airspeed, and there's something weird going on with it, but everything else looks fine. It's safe to say maybe there's something wrong with the airspeed indicator. And I think there may be, even on planes, there's a secondary way to check the speed. I don't know. Anyway, but if suddenly your airspeed is going crazy and going up, and you say, oh my God, we're going too fast, and you start pulling up, and if this was really not the case, then of course eventually you stall and you fall out of the sky and everybody dies. So flying on one instrument, these single-minded, small-minded people who are like, oh, and I heard that from a number of people. Oh yeah, he was very upset you didn't do a show disc. First of all, he never said, make one and call it the show disc. Blither. 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 Now, what else? Oh yeah, now I remember finding this and saying, yay. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the disc for this. This is the manual, or the whatever, from Electronic Arts for Mule. Mule was a game unlike anything else, and it's funny, whenever anybody says, I remember they brought out that joystick that had games and said, does it have Mule? No, it doesn't. Or Mule was a game where basically a bunch of people would play, and you would try, and get resources and things and stuff. And there was the mules, and they'd come out, and I'm not sure if it was a year or a month, there'd be this little parade, and you'd see who was winning and who was whatever. And really, you didn't want to be in first place leading into the very end. You wanted to be close and then make a move. And I remember the apprehension when the music would play, and the music was not quite something, and then you would see your mule coming out first, and you had squeaked them out. I gotta find mule. Somewhere I know I have it. And here, is a well-worn, well-used, a little bit damaged, Commodore Confidential Parts Information, September 1, 1989. Yes, parts. Parts are good. All kinds of things. Most things I never had need of or needed to order. But, sometimes... Oh. The CRT for the SX64 cost a dealer $137.50, and it was suggested you sell it for $229.15. Yep. That is what it was suggested. I really haven't looked at a lot of it, but it has all kinds of stuff in here. Well, basically all kinds of parts. All kinds of parts. Oh yeah, here's all the... Oh yeah. Oh, now here's something I wish I'd gotten. Oh my word. Service centers may purchase the following products to be used to test systems. Boy. The test system for the Amiga 2000 was $1,296. Maybe that's why we never ordered one. Mind you, I never even looked at such things. But they had a lot of manual here things, and they even charged the dealers like the testing for the PC Colt, which was the IBM compatible thing. It was $630. Well, anyway, interesting. Okay, we're going to get to the last few things, and at some point maybe I'll read through this article. I think it's all here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it is. This was an article, A Time for Reflection by David Williams. And I have not seen him in probably 40 years, and I would like to think he's still doing okay. He was involved in TPUG and all kinds. Anyway, here's an article of how he, using basically a mirror of sorts that was controlled by, I think it was a Vic-20, and this was to direct light from the outside inside a house. So you didn't need to do things. Anyway, I will read this at some point. They were, and it does make reference to, back in previous times when they didn't have electricity, how people use things like this. But of course, using the Vic-20, it means that it can automatically adjust. All right, now the last thing I found, and it's a little rough. And at first I didn't quite recognize what it was, but it is from Richvale Telecommunications, York Home TV and Appliance. Remember, a great place to get an element for your stove, as well as a Commodore PET. Anyway, here we have, what is this? Oh, it's a rental agreement. It is Commodore. Okay. All right. 1982, David Bradley. I received from York Television Appliance a Commodore disk drive. Articles number, it looks like an 8050. on hire for 1 week at the rate of $65 per week, payable in advance. Huh. Oh, also included was an IEEE to IEEE cable. Huh. Cool. I don't remember doing that, but I guess we must have needed it for something at some point in time. We must have. So, I'm going to set the discs aside. I am. And I have a box here that has books and things. I think I need to start another one. Or maybe I need to rejig things. And actually, for the moment, these things that do have that sort of basement smell, maybe they should sit out for a bit and get some air. Maybe. Anyway, discs set aside. And, oh yeah, I gotta read this. Is there anything else I need? Well, I don't want to lose this thing. Anyway. It's, anytime you pack things away, undoubtedly, some things are going to get toasted. It's just the way it is. Here's a cable, which I still think is for the Z-Tech Lieutenant Colonel. I need to hang on the door. Anyway. Well, that was easy. That's about all I have to say about that. I've got to get a 64 going here and test out these disk drives and test out this test thing. And it still boggles me that I know I've got to have it somewhere. There was another cartridge, I think for the 128 that goes with that, and I know I saw it. I know it. And why I didn't... Well, maybe it's in the test box. Good God. I'll never find it. Anyway. As always, thanks for being here. It is much appreciated. And don't hesitate to send me any messages, questions. I'll do my best. I have had some inquiries lately about some of the things. And yes, I'm going to sell things, but there are certain things I do want to test first. Mind you, there was one thing or two things I had that I only had two of them, the Amiga 4000s, and I really hadn't had a chance to dig into them much and such, and anyway, they're gone. Do I miss them? Yes. Do I have some seller's regret? Yes. But I know they've gone to a good place. And it's all good. All right. Enough for now. Perhaps, you know what, maybe this thing here, this Rich Rail Telecommunications thing, perhaps I will take it down and put it in a pile of things in the pet room, because that's, of course, where it should be. It is. So, onward. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.